Hello students. Today we continue our lesson on value by creating together our first still life drawing. I'm going to give a brief lesson on value today, and then we are going to draw this glass candle votive together as detailed as we can using all 7 elements of art. Today, all you will need is a pencil, a couple pieces of paper for the lesson and artwork, and your creativity. Before we begin, I wanted to share with you some drawings I found from my old sketchbook and how each one demonstrates value. Consider using some of these techniques in your art today. In this eye, you see how the edge of the circle begins with a darker shade and then lightens towards the center just by using lines. With the candle, I used cross-hatching in the background and the shadow of the candle as the darkest point. These two, I used the smudging of my finger for shading. And we're going to revisit this circle in our lesson on value today. This tree shows value just by drawing zigzag lines. More cross-hatching in the background here. And here I played with overlapping and texture, drawing some of my favorite passions and hobbies. Notice the shadow each item has on the floor surface. Remember the pine trees from our sketched winter landscape? This tree I drew inspired that project. Notice how value is shown by placing shadow on the bottom of each clump of snow. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for looking at my sketches. Now let's talk more about the circle I showed earlier and how we can create shadow. Here I have this red ball to demonstrate what happens when we take a flashlight and shine light over an object. The light source shows a bright point on the ball and different areas where the light surrounds the object. Notice how the shadow of the ball is shaped on the surface and how it moves depending on where the light source is located. Now think about how we can draw this image on paper. Let's practice. I'm going to trace my circle near the bottom left of my paper. You can freehand a circle if you would like. And let's create a light source on the top right corner of the paper. Here I draw a lamp. Now the light from the lamp shines directly onto the ball, and where it hits straight onward is called the highlight of our object. This will be the brightest point. Surrounding the highlight, we have mid-tone, where we begin to lightly shade the object. The bottom of the ball is not facing the light, so here would be the darkest part of the object. We will call this the shadow. The actual shadow on the surface of the table is called the cast shadow. This is generally the darkest area of value. Now we can keep these labels, erase the guidelines, and shade in each area to see how this would look as an actual artwork image. Now that we've talked about highlight, mid-tone, shadow, and cast shadow, and we've practiced drawing these values on our object, let's work on this glass votive holder together. You can either pause the video here, sketch your artwork from this image, or continue the video and follow along with me. Take note that I will show this image again later on in the video. Here, I'm going to show you two different camera angles where you will see the glass votive holder and an overhead angle of me drawing with you. I begin by drawing the top of the candle holder, a long horizontal shaped oval. The glass is a little bulbous and round, so we have two curved lines on the side and then a slightly curved bottom. The bottom of the glass is clear, so I'm going to give it two lines here. And let's create a table surface. Great, now the structure of our glass is done. All we have to do now is give it some value. I see some shadow on the inside of the glass, so I am going to shade in horizontal lines down the center inside of it like this. I like working on the shadow of the candle holder because I know it is going to be the darkest point of the glass. I start with medium heavy pressure with my pencil, and as I shade closer to the light source, I lighten my pressure. To make my darker areas more opaque, I decided to do some cross-hatching on the shadow here, and then smudged it with my finger to make it smoother and blend well. do not want to use your finger to smudge, you could lightly stipple with your eraser like I'm doing here. It can create a light smudging effect. If you erase too much in one spot, that's okay. Just shade that area again with your pencil. Here is a fun drawing technique to learn that will help give your artwork definition. When you outline an object and you want to make it look more realistic, sometimes it is good to outline with varied pressure. Instead of making one solid, thick, or thin line all the way around, try gliding your pencil over the line with heavy and light pressure. I demonstrate this here on some scrap paper so you can understand what I'm saying better. You might not be able to see this from your viewpoint, but the candle holder is a little bit see-through. To give the illusion I can see through the glass, I created a curved, shaded, oval eye shape here at the base, close to the clear bottom of the glass. If you continue to crosshatch on the shadow over the base and shade in a different direction than the way you shaded the base of your candle holder, it gives it a more 3D look. Do you see? Here I created the cast shadow. This should be darker than the object itself. Outline the other lines here with varied heavy and light pressure. We initially drew these lines to be the table of our glass candle holder. But if we draw a vertical line at the corner over here, the table now becomes the room. We're now playing with the element of art, space. Let's continue to do more with space. If I draw part of a rectangular prism over here, and then connect a vertical line that is parallel to the corner of the room, add more lines like so, some squares. We've now created a window for the room. I added some varied pressure while I outlined and shaded in the edges of the frame a little bit to add some value to the window. Creating this room makes the candle holder look gigantic. To bring the votive holder back to regular size in the room, let's recreate that table. To make the table look different from the room, I added some shading. If you want to play more with the space of the room, you can add tiny framed pictures on the wall to make the room look big. Maybe a floor lamp or a couch in the background and play with overlapping. The possibilities are endless. If you have colored pencils, feel free to add color to your artwork. When you are all done, sign your name in the corner and date it on the back. We just created our first still life artwork together. Isn't it amazing how such simple steps can create detailed works of art? We started with a curved line, which created a simple shape, added texture, value, played with space, which added form. All of this created your still life. Try this again at home. Place something at the center of your workspace that's a simple object, a ball or a piece of fruit. Study its curves, how the light hits the object, and just draw. See where the pencil takes you. Until next time, take care and stay creative.